How's it going, everyone? Welcome to this mini guide. It's your boy No Life Skills here. Okay guys, so in this guide, the first thing I just want to tell you is just a brief overview of all the life skills. I have here, like, obviously this is an insane amount of life skilling. This is what I do the most, but pick one profession, I would say, to start off with, because if you do all of them, you're just going to end up with choice paralysis unless you have an extremely good memory, and I know I have a pretty good memory, and that even I still have problems for remembering. It's just a crazy amount. What you want is a high contribution and energy point right away. This will help you get workers going really quick, as well as being able to connect nodes and whatever, which you need for your workers to go out and gather stuff for you. Because if you gather everything manually by yourself, it will take you forever. The one thing you want to do when you first start off is when you hire workers, you will generally find naive, regular, skilled, professional, and if you're extremely lucky, artisan workers. Artisan workers is what you want, but if you're not blessed by RNG, which I'm sure 99% of us won't find artisan on that first roll, then you would hire the goblin or whatever naive worker you run across first, right? Because you have no workers at the moment, I'm assuming. Then you hire that worker, connect a node, for instance, like say Velia over here, connect it to Bartali Farm, and then select your worker here, and then for your naive worker, just send him there and then just have him use all his energy to gather whatever you want for him. And then as you do this, make sure you have one lodging slot in the town itself. To buy lodging slots, you just have to go to the top right here and you can filter by lodging, and it'll point the arrows here and you select level. Preferably you want a high level so you can get more slots, and this is why you need contribution points. When you have contribution points, you get more lodging, and if higher level lodging, you hire more workers based on the level for less CP. For instance, Heidel, I have this one lodging over here. It's a level 5 one, and it lets you hire up to an extra 8 workers for the price of 3 CP. 3 CP for 8 extra worker slots. And that's how I have like an army here in Heidel with 16 people or whatever. This is just one of them, and then I have another one here. So that's just an instance just to demonstrate to you that, you know, you can get a horde of workers. The reason why you want to get the one extra slot instead of just having a 1 out of 1 cap on a town is because when you first get that first worker, you drain all his stamina. You can't make beers yet because you don't know how yet, most likely, if you're new, unless you've been looking at other guides. Then you fire that worker, and then you spend 5 energy at the worker hiring guy again, and you hire another worker just to replenish the stamina. So basically 5 energy for another roll of a worker, and if he's a good worker, like skilled, professional, or artisan, you should keep him. And then you slowly filter out all your dudes like that really quickly and start replacing them. Once they reach level 10, 20, and 30, they can gain a promotion chance each. If they fail all 3, they're stuck at that tier. They will never get any better. Artisan workers is obviously what you want. Professionals are pretty good too. You shouldn't cycle those guys out until you have more artisans. The other thing about workers is that you can't move them from city to city. So if you hired them in Velia, they are stuck in Velia. And if you have something to collect, like say for instance at Serendia Shrine for pine timber, don't connect it from Velia at first because you won't have enough CP for it. Try to find a path from Glish. Take it from Glish, the closer nodes. There's no point sending them halfway across the world. It'll also take longer, and it'll also take more time for the worker to get there and complete their job as well. So distance does matter. So try to connect in proximity before you start connecting the world. There's no point connecting the world unless you're actually doing trading, or if you're doing fishing delivery. That's it. There's no other point that you should need to connect the world apart from those things. That's just to get you started for any kind of life skilling. So pick one of them, either cooking or alchemy if you're gonna go gather materials. Same with processing. Your workers can gather, like, you know, timber and all those other things like flax, fabrics, alchemy materials. They can cover at least about half the materials, or 75% of the materials, or even 100% of the materials, depending on what life skill profession you're doing. So that's what you do with your energy at first if you're just going for life skills. The other thing I want to outline here is that the worker type, goblins, humans, giants, and named. Named ones, you need to get amity from an NPC, talk to them enough, get their contract, and then hire them. Generally, named workers have a special skill attached to them, like my Alzath here. He works on farms by +5 speed, inherently by himself all the time. They cannot be upgraded or promoted, so they cannot learn special +3 skills that certain workers have. The difference between goblin, giants, and humans is goblins are the fastest, lowest stamina capacity. Giants are the slowest, but the largest stamina capacity. And humans are in the middle, but with the highest luck. Depending on what you were assigning your worker to do, if you're looking for a rare material resource, you would want to send humans there. If you AFK a lot and you don't have too much time for the game and you play and you work a lot or whatever, 8-hour job kind of thing or whatever every day, you would probably want more giants. You probably still want a few of goblins. Goblins work extremely fast. There's another thing called the specialty nodes. This is also part of life skilling because you make a residence, you rent it out, you build furniture in it, make it all pretty, make it a party room, invite people over, have a sleepover, whatever. Do some ERP or RPing. There's these things here called investment banks and these specialties or whatever. These require your house to be rank 1 on any of these houses here. If you turn any of these into residences, they must be rank 1 in order for you to access these nodes. The most that there could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There could be 6 players that can have these nodes activated for them that are in the tier rank 1 housing furniture points. What you want goblins for is for these nodes basically, because some of these take forever. Bear creates Calphion crates. It is quite hard to get the rank 1 score. It does involve a little bit of moolah. The bonuses aren't exactly too huge, but it is a time saver for worker resources and whatnot. Something like the Calphion crates in Bear here take about 4 hours to create. That's with my artisan goblin. When I sent my giant there, it took him 32 hours or something. So that's the difference gap between a goblin and a giant. One takes 4 hours and the other one takes 32 hours. It literally said 1 day and 12 hours or something on it. And I was like, what the fuck? So I found a use for goblins. That's what your goblins are for. Also, if you're tending to the game a lot, goblins are also really, really good because now, after the game has updated a bit, you can actually recover your workers in the midst of their task. So you can constantly feed them beers while they're actually doing their job without telling them to go do their whole job again once they run out of stamina. So goblins is more like if you attend the game a lot. If you not, then I would highly suggest the giants, because they also work very well for overnight cycles or whatever and things that they do close. Excavation nodes, for instance, also take really long. These generally take about 1 to 2 hours. It takes my artisan human 1 hour and 25 minutes, whereas a goblin would probably proceed with that task a lot faster. Those also generate rare resources, which is why I have a human there. If you're crafting stuff, say for instance a weapon, if you use humans, they can probably create ultimate type weapons much more easily than a goblin and a giant. They also produce lucky tools more often for gathering and other things. Giants, they're better at making huge batches of things over a long period of time. Artisan goblins are more like if you need them to crank out something extremely fast as well. Artisan goblins can do that really, really, really quick. But then the problem with all of this is that you might have inventory and storage problems, which is why you want that CP fast early on so you can purchase storages from these houses in here. And again, you want to purchase the one with the highest level because almost every single house can be turned into storage, but only a few of them can be turned into really, really high level storages. And of course, when it gets to higher levels, they grant more space. It adds up to 16 slots for the price of 5 CP. But then the other thing is that you have to connect all the CPs before that in order to reach this house here. So when you buy this house, always check the price. It's going to cost you a total of 11 CP. And when you're purchasing any of these, also make sure these houses beforehand have a use for what you want to do. Either that or turn them all into storages, then you get a mass amount of slots. Generally, just make sure you choose something that can be flipped around into something else that you can use, rather than it just being there and then you have these 4 houses before doing nothing as well, or they can't be switched to anything else. Apart from that, also playing every day gets you loyalties, where you can also increase storages. Costs you 500 loyalties, which is about 5 days. There's also the Black Dice board game. If you're lucky enough to hit the hidden path of these letter M's here, you get 700 loyalty, so that's basically 1 permanent slot. Those are some ways to quickly gain storage space and also inventory space. Of course, you can also speed that up just by buying it with real money. Other than that though, guys, there's not much else I have to share. I hope this helped you out. I'll be covering more topics on each life profession, maybe one by one, which is a daunting task. I don't know if I want to do that. That's a lot of my time gone. One last thing I want to add in here is that if you are doing life skills, make sure you fill out all your character slots. Make all whatever character slots you have, 4, 5, or 6, or how many you have, as soon as you start the game. The reason being is your energy cap and contribution cap is shared across your account, and if you do a lot of the beginner quests up to about Heidel or even Calpheon, Glish, or Trent area, you'll raise your CP really fast and then just do it again on another alt. It's a bit of a grind, I guess, but at the same time it raises your contribution really fast. The other thing is that when you have multiple characters made on your account, the ones that are not logged in, they generate 1 energy every hour. So they're also considered as energy batteries. So you can also use that to do the same thing I suggested earlier with the worker trade-in, trade-outs. So you can quickly get your artisans or professional workers hired quickly, so you can actually have decent workers. And by the time you reach the point of crafting in your early game life, you should be able to start making stuff fast enough with your workers as well. Some of them craft weapons, armors, or other things. They can do it really quick. Sometimes they might get a lucky skill where they proc 3 times the amount of product that they do. They have like +3 production. So basically that worker does 1 job in 22 minutes, for instance, but he produces 3 times the amount. So he's like 3 workers in 1, and those are insanely worth having. Also make sure you carry about 150,000 silver in the storage that you're hiring the worker from. At least 150,000, because I think that's the most expensive price for an artisan worker. If not 400k or 500,000, 500k silver will definitely cover it. And that's it just to get started, guys. I hope this helps you out. It's a lot of information to take in. Other than that, there's not too much else I can start off with in terms of just an introduction for life skills. Each life skill itself is a lot of different things you can do. Gathering is obviously the most grindy one, but the rest of them you can do pretty much AFK. Some of them are like hybrid. Processing you can only do AFK, and gathering you can only do by manually grinding. Except for gathering water. If you gather water, you can technically go AFK, but that's dependent on your energy pool. So the best thing here is that once you get about 200 energy, that's pretty good. If you want to go to 491, like myself, or even further, that takes a lot of work. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope this helped you out, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.